Throughout the history of man, legends about the true cross of Christ have inspired artists and writers from the entire world. One of these works is found in the Italian city of Arezzo, concretely in the main chapel, the Cappella Maggiore of the Basilica of St. Francis. It's a cycle of frescoes known as the Stories of the True Cross by Piero della Francesca, one of the most important pictorial works of the Renaissance. Everything began in 1417 when Baccio di Maso Bacci, a wealthy businessman from the Tuscan city, died, leaving part of his fortune to the Franciscan Basilica for the decoration of the chapel of the choir, known today as the Bacci Chapel, in honor of this family from Arezzo. But the work began much later, in 1452, and it took 14 years. In 1466, the Bacci Chapel was presented to the world as a unique space. Across the lateral walls and in the lower section, Piero della Francesca lays out the frescoes on 3 levels, without making use of any architectonic framework. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, the most popular sources of the stories of the True Cross were the Bible and the book Golden Legend by the Dominican Santiago della Voragine. But Piero revolutionized the narration of this iconographic series, following personal criteria from both the thematic and plastic points of view. To better understand this series, also known as the Legend of the True Cross, we'll analyze the most important scenes divided into 3 thematic groups, beginning with the fresco located in the high part of the right wall. First stage. The first scene narrates the death of Adam. The artist presents us with a dying Adam. His third child, Seth, encounters St. Michael the Archangel at the doors of heaven, and he gives him a branch from the tree of life in the Garden of Eden. Seth plants it in the mouth of the already dead Adam, in this way redeeming original sin. Just below, the painter narrates the Queen of Sheba in adoration of the wood, and the meeting of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. The Queen of Sheba kneels before a bridge over the Silo River upon recognizing the wood of the tree of the cross and refuses to proceed. At the left, one sees the adoration of the bridge by the Queen of Sheba, and on the right, how the Queen is received in Solomon's palace, and he extends her his hand. This fresco can be seen as a desire for the union between the Orthodox and Western churches in the 15th century. Finally, at the left, we find the eradication and burial of the sacred tree, the final scene of this first stage. Second stage. The second thematic block begins with the scene located in the lower right part of the chapel. The Annunciation. The death of Christ is announced in the cross shape of the tablet. Following to the left, we find Constantine's dream. In this scene, he sees the cross, and a voice says to him, "Under this sign, you will be victorious," inciting him to rout paganism in this way. And finally, again at the left, Piero della Francesca narrates Constantine's victory over Maxentius at the Milvian Bridge. With the cross on his shield, he defeats the enemy and later converts to Christianity. Third stage. We arrive now to the third and final stage of our walk through the work of Piero. Just above Constantine's victory, we see the torture of the Jew. Queen St. Helen, Constantine's mother, tortures a Jew to obtain information about the place where our Lord Jesus Christ had been crucified. Just to the left, we find the discovery and proof of the true cross. Helen finds the cross in Jerusalem. 3 crosses are dug up, and they test which is the true cross, resurrecting the dead with it. Just below, Piero depicts the battle between the Byzantine Emperor Heracles and Khosrau II, and the defeat and beheading of Khosrau, who had stolen the cross. The final scene of our trip is located at the upper section of the left wall, the exaltation or restitution of the cross, the return of the cross to Jerusalem. As one can observe in the stories of the true cross, Piero della Francesca doesn't present the scenes chronologically, but he follows purely formal aesthetic criteria, creating symmetrical effects between the different frescoes, without renouncing a theological and philosophical dialogue between the counterposed scenes.